See anyone? It is now closed. All right, we are ready for our consent agenda presented by Mr. Clinton McNamee, our interim city manager.
All right, good afternoon. We have 2 items on consent agenda tonight for your consideration to approve. Number 1 is approval of the minutes of the July 31 special city commission meeting, and number 2 is approve the minutes of the regular August 5th city commission meeting.
Okay,
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
all right, it's been moved. Is there a second that we accept the consent agenda as printed? All right, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we will have new business board openings presented by me, the mayor. Does everyone have their booklet where they can see? All right, our first board is Board of Code Review, and we have one applicant, Jake Hawk, who is an electrical contractor, and that is it. Do we have a motion to accept Jake Hawk's application to the Board of Code Review?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that Jake Hawk will be a member of the Board of Code Review. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations to Mr. Hawk. Okay, next we have Budget and Audit Committee. This is for one citizen at large. One citizen at large, we have 2 that have expressed interest. We have Leslie Bosch and Chrissy Lumen.
Neither one of them live in the city, though?
Chrissy does, Leslie, they both
Leslie lives in the county.
lives in the county.
What is how can we vote for somebody to be on a city board?
Yeah, you can.
The ordinance says citizen, which I interpret to be.
So we can have.
It doesn't say resident of the city, it just says citizen.
So Christie's the one that works at the bank.
Yes, it looks
I mean, I
like
don't have
Union
a
State
problem with
Bank.
her. That's a unclear definition.
Let's live with them.
Well, I think that it's unclear. Resident, any other is a resident. Meaning, citizen, I think it was, could be illegal.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? All right. Commissioners, would you like to move to appoint one, either Chrissy or Leslie?
Well, I see Leslie is a Leslie and Elizabeth both, is that right? Bosch, last name's Bosch?
I'm
The next
just,
one, the economic development.
Leslie is also interested in the Economic Development and Advisory Board. So if she were not selected for the Budget and Audit Committee, as I understand it from our clerk, Tina, she is also interested in the Economic Development and Advisory Board. So, yes.
I'd move that we appoint Christie Lumen.
Yes, Chrissy Lumen. So it's been moved that we appoint Chrissy Lumen to the Budget and Audit Committee. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we select Chrissy Lumen for the Budget and Audit Committee. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations to Chrissy for the Budget and Audit Committee. Next, we have the Economic Development Advisory Board, and we need 2. And now we do have 2. We have Elizabeth Turner and Leslie Bosch. So do we have a motion to accept both Leslie Bosch and Elizabeth Turner for the Economic Development Advisory Board?
I make such a motion.
Okay, it's been moved, and Vice Mayor Wilcox, were you seconding?
One is just
Ms. Turner is just asking to stay on the board, is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
just to be reappointed.
All right.
Good, I'm good.
Okay, all right. It's been moved and seconded that we accept Leslie Bosch and Elizabeth Turner to the Economic Development Advisory Board. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations to Ms. Bosch and congratulations to a returning Ms. Turner. Okay, and that is all we have for our committees, excuse me, for our committees. All right, and again, for citizens, I would just encourage you to definitely take a look at our website. As you can see, we do have still some vacancies, and definitely we are in need of citizens to volunteer their time, and we appreciate those who already do so. All right, next, we will have urban area boundary, presented by Clinton McNamee.
All right, so the urban area boundary update, this follows the most recent census that was undertaken. Comes down from the Federal Highway Administration, who looks to KDOT to reach out to the Kansas counties and cities with populations greater than 5,000 to review these urban area boundary adjustments, and with the intent that they would hope to get all these local governments to approve or endorse, however you want to look at it, these proposals. So perhaps the map, if you guys want to flip to the map, might be the most helpful. Basically, the area that's shaded in yellow is essentially the city limits. The area shaded in gray was the existing urban area boundary from the previous census. And the orange outline beyond that is what they are proposing to be the new urban area boundary. There's several factors that go into it, the census being probably the biggest factor. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's automatically drawn this way, but they have a few guidelines they follow when they draw new boundaries, but they say the intent is to, as things develop on the outskirts of cities, they start to take on the characteristics of urban settings, whether it be residential, industrial, commercial activities going on. And they start with this urban area boundary. I don't believe that it'll have much effect on any of the current programs, grant programs that we have going on, like our C-CLIP, for example, or transportation alternatives that are KDOT administered, even though they involve federal funding. However, I have seen grant programs that are straight from the federal entities that there might be a subcategory of a grant funding opportunity that's only available for rural settings, or maybe they're available for urban settings. But like I said, the programs that we typically utilize do not factor in this urban area boundary. The county has already adopted it from what I understand, and so that we're just being asked to fill out that resolution that they provided. Go ahead and prove that. I assume there will be a follow-up discussion that deals with functional classifications of roads. From what I understand, this is not what we would necessarily classify our streets as. So we have an ordinance that kind of just classifies our streets. That doesn't affect that. This is something to do at the federal level, and that would be the next step after approving an urban area boundary. As you can see, there's not much area of the city limits that already was not in the urban area boundary. So the only way I could see this adversely affecting the city would be is if we miss out, if they include the population of the new urban area boundary, which presumably would be higher than the existing one, and the population was the cutoff for the funding. opportunity. But having said that, we rarely apply directly to federal programs such as like Tiger or Build grants and things like that. So
That was my question, Clinton, is if we do adopt this, would this affect our ability to obtain grants? Because you handle a lot of grants.
I can't say that it would or would not. I don't believe it would with the typical programs that the FAA has. Not to say that they wouldn't come in with some special funding 4 years from now that's targeting rural areas or something, and we're in the urban
Right.
boundary, so then we're, but I can't, I know of none right now that we would be interested in that we would lose eligibility.
Okay.
Do you know how there's a little narrow area here on the south end of town? How do they determine this, do you know?
So I don't know about that specifically, because
Population density or something?
the map isn't super detailed with the roads, but typically they're not supposed to just draw lines like arbitrarily through a property, so it's supposed to follow like natural features such as a stream or a river, or if there's a valley or something, and we don't have mountains to follow, but or it's supposed to follow the roads. So if that could be a road stretching through there, just not labeled, or it could be the intersection of a road.
Well, see, there's a little stream there that's right that intersects that line about 4
Yeah.
times there. And
I don't see that it's labeled, but I would suspect that it's because the city limits, there's a section of it on this map that touches that line, so they probably moved it down so that city limits is completely in there.
This doesn't make it any easier for the city to annex these properties, or it doesn't make it.
I don't think that has anything.
It looks to me like we got some people in Washington drawing lines on maps, keep their job. That's another story.
So if you live in that area that designated area, are you then an Atchison citizen?
No, this doesn't
No.
change city limits. It doesn't affect taxes in any way. It's
Somebody just draw
their
a line.
methodology, I think, of being able to diversify how they do their funding programs, and that's kind of how I look at it. Because they might have a program that focuses on urban areas. They might have a program that focuses on a rural setting. And so they need a dividing line, and that's all kinds of gray areas of what that is. So they come up with these parameters to be able to administer those programs without having to make a judgment call probably on every single application that comes in where it's not clear cut, whether it's, I can think of the time I've been here, there was one grant, I can't even remember what it was for, but I was looking into it, and we were part of an urban cluster that incorporated like a much larger area than what we're talking about. And because there were 50,000 people within that area plus, we were ineligible for it. So it's that kind of a deal.
I'm just curious, how many additional acres of real estate actually are getting inside this zone now? Because there's a lot of land. That's
be about 40 acres.
40?
Yeah, that's about.
I don't think it's,
Justin, you got any input on this? This is no big deal, is it?
I mean, it's be dumb not to pass it. We have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. But it's
Right.
Routine.
census.
I move we adopt this.
Okay. It's been moved that we adopt this new urban area boundary. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we execute the resolution form as presented by KDOT to approve the updated urban area boundary. Are there any additional questions? Okay, if not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Clinton.
I'm gonna need all of this, so
Okay.
don't shoot out after the meeting,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. We will all sign it gladly, Tina.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, at this time, we are going to go into executive session, and we need a motion, though.
I'll make a move.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we go into an executive session for consultation with the city attorney to discuss privileged attorney-client matters pursuant to KSA 75-4319, subsection B, subsection 2, and preliminary discussion of the acquisition of real property pursuant to KSA 75-4319, subsection B, subsection 6. At this time, we will also be in discussion, including in the executive session, with interim city manager Clinton McNamee, city attorney Robert Campbell, and consultant Justin Prejean. Justin, how long do you think we will need? Okay, so we'll have 15 minutes, so we we will go into executive session at, what time is it? 4:50?
You wanna say 5 o'clock?
Yes, let's say 5 o'clock, and we will return at 5:15. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're in executive session.
So we're gonna stay here.